Everyone, good evening. Very happy to be here today. In the next few minutes that we have together, I think I'll present AB InBev in general, talk a little bit about what we're doing in the AgTech space and a bit of what we're looking for as well. And we're looking forward to meet some of you a bit later on. So AB InBev, you might not have heard of the company name, but I hope you heard of our beers and you enjoyed some of our beers. We are the biggest brewery in the world. Okay, so we own more than 500 brands. The global ones in the left, I'm sure you are aware of, from Budweiser, Stella, Corona. We serve 2 billion customers with our beers. And we are looking, the way we do that, and we're a global company. So we're serving about 150 markets around the world. You can see them. We're headquartered in Leuven in Belgium, but we also have a corporate office in New York and also regional offices in Brazil. And what we say, we look at our value chain from seed to sip. So we do the entire supply chain. We're looking at what's been growing and what kind of seeds are growing, how they're being harvested, how are they being cropped, how is the crop moving to the malt house, to the breweries, to the packaging, and how those packages, the whole logistical operations from the packaging all the way to the consumers to get to each and every one of you and where you like to drink your beers, if it's at the bar, at home, or on the beach. Today, I want to focus with you on the farming aspect because I think it's the most relevant to why we gather here today. So to deliver for 2 billion customers, to deliver our beers to 2 billion customers, you can imagine what a sourcing and agricultural scope we have. So we're working with, the way we work with farmers is we work with direct farmers with over 20,000 farmers around the world. We have 20 agronomists that are working with them to source our 6 priority crops, barley being the most important crop for us, naturally. We don't own the farms. So we don't own any of the farms. In areas that we find market gaps, we'll work and collaborate with farmers and give them our seeds and buy the crops at a fixed price at the end of the harvest. We're also investing a lot in the research in the breed, and we're going to talk about that a bit in a moment. You've heard from other companies as well, and at the end of last year, we presented our ambitious pledge for net zero by 2040. And it's not just kind of a statement. If we broke that down to a very clear methodological plan and how we're going to reach that, and we published that in the internet. So if any of you look ESG, AB InBev, you can find what we aim to do to reach that by 2040. And we already recognize today, and you can see this on the right, that 12.5% of our current emissions come from agriculture. They're scope 3, meaning we don't we don't affect them directly, because I mentioned we don't own the farms. However, we understand that the farmers need to be central in our mission to net zero. And we pledged that by 2025, we want 100% of our direct farmers to be skilled, connected, and financially empowered. And we'll talk about a bit later what that means, and that's where a lot of you can come in to help us achieve these goals together. Why are we looking in this space? Why is this important for us? If you look at our supply chain, we see, and what we've already been operating, we're looking at research centers. We're operating in 16 countries where we're put breeding programs. Okay, we're looking to develop the most resilient crops that are most water efficient, that have the best taste, that can really help us deliver and produce the highest quality beers for all of you to enjoy. We're in the farming and logistics space. We've developed a platform called Smart Barley, where we use this to connect between the agronomists and the farmers. We use this to put in technology, data, and insights to help our farmers make the best decisions. If it's what's going to happen, how the weather is going to impact, how much fertilizer to use, and we can use this to receive feedback and help them make more out of each of their acres. We want to get more crop, more yield, and minimize our carbon emissions from each one of these crops. And we understand that really to achieve these goals, technology has to be the driver. In the agriculture, we'll need to use technology to make these even better. We need to take our efforts a step further. And we've recognized the following gaps in our supply chain. And this is where the time kind of to listen up to those who said, this is for you, okay? What are we looking for? What are our big challenges? This is where you come in. The cycle from seed to the commercialization cycle takes us 10 years. Okay, it takes 10 years until we can take one seed and we can test it and validate it as this variety. We want to shorten that cycle. And in a moment we say what kind of things we've already done and what else we're looking for. We want to have better quality of our yield. And we also know that it's not just about the farm, it's what also happens after the farm. How are the crops stored? How are the crops transported? And is quality being lost on that? So we're looking for technological solutions in that space. And we want higher acceptance rates. So our people, ABI is shortened for AB InBev, are in the malting plants needing to accept the crops. So we also work with our direct farmers, but we also work with third parties where we just source the crops that we're looking for directly. We want higher acceptance rate and way to accept them more. And throughout this entire process in gray, super important, we want better measurements about how we're doing this. We want to better know what our carbon accounting is, how much carbon is being emitted in each one of these processes. We want to know what's happening. We want to track what's happening so we can improve. Based on these gaps, these are our 3 pillars, and these are where we're focusing, and this is where hopefully we can collaborate together with you. So I'm going to go now in each one and tell you kind of what we're looking for and what's interesting, and based on these pillars, we chose who to meet later on today. On the first pillar, we're looking at breeding. So I was talking about this. We want better varieties of crops. I mentioned our priority crops. We want better seeds to better crops that are higher quality that we can accept. You can see here some partnerships we're already having in this space that are helping us kind of bring down and minimizing the time to commercialization. We're understanding that climate change is here, and it's affecting our farmers, and it's affecting our yield. It's affecting how we're planning our farmers. It's affecting our day-to-day, and any technology that can help us prepare better in terms of weather management, crop damage is very interesting for us. That could be taken through our platforms, through Smart Barley, straight to the farmer to help them make better decisions. And lastly here, we want to close the performance gap. A lot of our farmers, 50% of our farmers are in Africa. We're talking about farmers that don't have smartphones, farmers that have flip phones, minimum connectivity. And in those 3 things I mentioned before, we want skilled, connected, and financially empowered is super important. If our farmers can't plan ahead and don't have the financial literacy and manage to run their farm as business, that's not sustainable both for them and for us, and we can't depend on them. So any solution also in the financial field, trainings, financial tools that could help build up these farming capabilities, we're there, we're interested, and we want to help deploy those through our agronomists to our farmers around the world. And here we kind of can see more examples of these 3 pillars that I've spoken about, and already partnerships and examples that we have there. You can see here we're showing farmers what exactly they could do to increase their yield, what they could do differently. We're having, through the Smart Barley, Centera is giving us live weather managements that tells the farmers, look what's going to happen, plan ahead. This is how you should be deploying your fertilizer. Through this app, we've noticed that in Mexico, Mexican farmers over-fertilize, which leads to both excessive cost, and it's not good for the environment. And this is where we're trying to find. We know that our business goals can meet our sustainability goals, and it's through the farmers we need to go. And lastly, kind of who we are, and we have here from my team, I'm here, and Avital is from my team. We're the beer garage. So our goal is to help you navigate this 170,000 monster corporation and try to help you find the right person. Our hubs you can see them around the world, but we are speaking the startup language internally, and we're speaking the corporate language to you to help kind of build a success story, and we can be your ambassadors inside the organization to help create a win-win. And we're pretty, kind of what we offer the startups, and you can kind of see here behind, but the company is very practical. The things that we have to test, we have to validate, and we have to show that there is a real impact there. And we're looking to help build these business case. We can add a bit of budget to help prove the technology, and if it works and if it goes well, we're happy to scale this internally. So thank you very much. Cheers. Hope you have a great evening, and talk to you soon.